Good morning, boys. How are you? Today we are going to study solving inequalities involving absolute value. Before we start, we have some slides as revision for the previous lesson. What graph is the solution set of the compound inequality b more than 3 or b less than 0? We studied this last lesson. Of course, here we have more and less. This means the circles must be empty because we don't have equal. B more than 3, this means from B, when it is more than 3, here I will go to the right and empty circle. B less than 0, of course this is OR, we will get two arrows in opposite direction. B less than 0, from B we go to the left, then the solution will be this one. Another example. Solve the compound inequality 3x less or equal negative 6 or 2x minus 6 more or equal 4. Graph the solution set. Here before we graph we must solve. Here I must divide on 3, divide 3, divide 3, you will get x less or equal negative 2. Here first we make plus 6 plus 6, you will get 2x more or equal 10, divide 2, divide 2, you will get x more or equal 5. Of course here the circles is solid because we have here more or equal, less or equal. X more or equal 5, from 5 we go to the right. Here we get x less or equal negative 2. From negative 2 we go to the left, then this will be the solution. Of course, boys, the rest are the same. Solve them alone by yourself, then check your solution from each question. Take the question for here, example 3, write it by yourself and solve alone, then check your answer from the presentation. Now let us go to our new lesson. In this lesson, we will solve equation involving absolute value. Of course, here we have two cases when we have more or less or equal, more or equal. Before we start, I want to remind you what is the meaning of absolute value. Absolute value make every value positive. Anything inside absolute value must be positive. Here, for example, this is the absolute value. Inside this absolute value, always the value is positive value. Now we are going to solve absolute value inequalities. This example, n minus 3 in absolute value less or equal 12. And he wants me to graph the solution. Of course, the most important thing, boys, I want you to know that in absolute value, we have two cases. Always we have how many cases? Two cases. Case 1, case 2. The first case, n minus 3 less or equal 12. The second case, n minus 12 more or equal negative 12. Again, I repeat. When I want to get rid of absolute value, because I cannot solve if absolute value in the question. If you want to solve such a question, you must get rid of absolute value. That is my job. I am going to get rid of the absolute value. How? By having two cases. Case number 1 is the same as the main inequality. n minus 3 less or equal 12, it stays the same. You see here. The second case, I will make 12 negative and I flip this. Less or equal become more or equal. n minus 3 more or equal negative 12. Now you have case 1, case 2. You solve each one alone. Plus 3 plus 3, you will get n less or equal 15. This is the answer of the first case. Plus 3 plus 3, you will get n more or equal negative 9. Now we graph, of course, here less or equal, more or equal. Here I will have limited solution. Of course, I put solid circle over negative 9. and solid circle over 15, and I match between them. Here the solution will be from -9 until 15. All the numbers between -9 and 15 are answers. Solve x plus 6 less than -8. This is very important point. Most of the students make wrong here in the quiz, in the test. Why? They didn't pay attention that this number is negative. When I start, I told you that absolute value always positive. This means this value, I don't care about the value of x. Any number, 0, negative, positive, I don't care. But the value of the absolute value is positive. Can positive value be less than negative? In such case, direct you write no solution or phi. Again, I repeat, most of you make mistake in this. They make x plus 6 less than -8, then they make x plus 6 more than -8. This is a big mistake. Why again? Because absolute value always positive. Can positive be less than negative? This is impossible. Therefore here direct what you write no solution. He writes explanation here. Since absolute value of x plus 6 cannot be negative, this means absolute value of x plus 6 cannot be less than -8, so the solution is the empty set or phi. Here we have example, solve absolute value of p plus 4 less than 6. Here of course we have two cases, because here I have 6 which is positive. Here you write p plus 4 less than 6 or p plus 4 more than -6. You have two cases. You solve them, you will get this answer. P more than -10 less than 2. This is the answer. Here, absolute value of p minus 5 less than -2. Direct, when you see here less than -2, which is negative number, direct you say no solution or phi.